Next, let me invite Professor from the University of Colombo. She is a professor at the Commercial Law Faculty. She's going to present Corporate Law Basics for Business Development. This is none other than Professor Shanti Sagarajasingham. Here we go, Professor Shanti Sagarajasingham.
Thank you for the opportunity given. Can I get the slides? I'll speak on doing business legally. One way of boosting economy is to engage in business. Engaging in business doesn't mean that involve a lot of money. Even with little money, with whatever the skill that you have, you can start up a business very easily. There are three kinds of businesses mainly that anyone can invoke in. Those are sole proprietorship, partnership, and companies. For sole proprietorship and partnership, it is the Business Names Act of Sri Lanka that deals with it. For these two type of companies, if the proprietor and the partners are carrying on the business in their own full name, they don't have to register. So the registration requirement comes in under the Business Names Act if it is in another name other than their own full names. So practically, it's not possible for anyone to carry on a business in the own full name. Therefore, indirectly, the law requires a registration. So sole proprietorship and partnership can be easily registered because those are run by the provincial councils. So it is in Colombo, the Provincial Department of Business Names. In other provinces, it is by the Divisional Secretary. With just 2,000 rupees, a business can be registered. If it is the company, that is the Companies Act that governs the company incorporation. The Registrar of Companies is situated only in Colombo, and the process of registration are very clearly provided in the Companies Act. If it is an unincorporated or unregistered entity, then that means that is not a legal entity. Only exception is if it is a sole proprietorship in the own full name, if the proprietor carries on business, or if it is a partnership, if it is in the old full name of the partners, then the registration requirement is not there. Otherwise, the business has to be registered. Next slide, please. The advantages of going through this, doing business through companies, I have pointed out the basic things. It is a legal personality that's very, very important because once you incorporate a company, the company will be considered as a legal person. This legal personality privilege is not there for a sole proprietorship and a partnership. Therefore, the companies are preferred when you compare to the other two types of businesses. When you say legal personality, that means a company can own assets, the company can enter into contracts in its own name, the company can sue, or the company can also be sued. The company can employ. Other important aspect in companies is the limited liability. Once you invest in companies, you are liable only to the total amount of shares that you have agreed to invest. You won't be liable for whatever the losses the company may incur over the years while it carries on with the business. That means if you have undertaken a particular amount, the company will take it as shares and you will become a shareholder. While the company is a going concern, whatever the profits are shared among the shareholders, and that's called dividends. But in case if the company suffers losses, then the shareholders are not liable. This is not the case when it comes to sole proprietorship and partnership. Therefore, the companies are preferred vehicles when it compared to the other two types. Other one is perpetual succession. That means the company carries on the business in its name, irrespective of the death or resignation of shareholders and directors. That's why we have companies that are hundreds years old. Pooling of large amount of money is possible in companies because of the liability. In partnership or sole proprietorship, it cannot be with a large amount of capital because of the risk of personal liability. But it's possible in a company. In a company, it is managed by the board of directors. So the shareholders can ensure efficient or skilled people or educated people are appointed to the board so that the company management can run successfully. Very clear legal framework provided in the Companies Act. So the Companies have two parameters. One is the Companies Act and the other one is the Articles of Association, or they are rules for internal management. And the companies are free to engage in any legal business. Next slide, please. There are many types of companies that are available under the Companies Act for anyone to choose. That is private limited liability company. Even one person can incorporate a private limited liability company. So from 2007 onwards, the Companies Act has provided for single shareholder companies. If it is a public company, it can be either quoted public company or unquoted public company. Quoting means getting listed in stock exchange. Guarantee companies are for charity purposes and those are not for profit motivation. Unlimited companies are also allowed under the Act. So they will enjoy all the privileges under the Companies Act other than the limited liability privilege. The shareholders of unlimited companies will be liable for the debts of the company as per the provisions they have in their own Articles of Association. In addition to these, foreign companies can be incorporated. That means foreign company can have a branch and they can incorporate that particular foreign company. Offshore company is for carrying on a business other than the territory of Sri Lanka, that is generally in the territorial waters. So these are the types available under the Companies Act. So anyone interested in business can choose whatever the type suits that person's need. And next slide, please. Incorporation of company is made very easy by the 2007 Companies Act. The name of the company should be very unique. That shouldn't be similar to another existing company. So the name approval is the initial stage of anyone who wants to start up a business. Then comes the Articles of Association. Those are the rules for internal management. That has to be signed by the initial shareholder and they have to subscribe minimum at least one share for them to incorporate a company. Consent from directors and a secretary is given to the Registrar of Companies by way of a particular form, and these are the only documents for incorporation. These are all done online nowadays, and it can be, I think, within 3 days a company can be registered with about 20,000 rupees. This is not include the legal fees, whatever incorporators pay is not included in the 20,000. But a person need not go for a lawyer because the incorporation is made that easy. Everything is online. So the website of Registrar of Companies provide for all the details. So they can incorporate a company while they are at home. The companies, next one, the companies run their business by way of contracts. Each transaction of a company is a contract entered into by directors on behalf of companies. So the companies become liable for the contracts because the directors are considered as their agents. The company is bound by the contract and whatever the business transaction is actually by way of a contract that the company enters into. The contracts create legal obligation on companies because the companies are legal persons. There is no personal liability on the part of directors or shareholders because the company as a legal person enters into contract. Law of contract is important for someone to start up a business. The law of contract provides only common law concepts in Sri Lanka because we don't have a statute to deal with contract law concepts. We go by the common law. The Roman Dutch law is the common law, but anyway, with regard to commercial matters, it is the English law that's applicable by way of Introduction to Laws of England Act. We have a concept called freedom of contract that gives full freedom for parties to enter into contract of any nature that is coming within the parameters of legality. So the parties are free to draft their terms to suit their needs. So whenever they want to engage in businesses, it is up to the parties to formulate their own terms. So the freedom of contract aspect gives them full freedom to engage in any business. A contract will be valid if it is entered into by 2 or more people who have the capacity to enter into contract and who have provided consideration because it is coming under English law, and if they have serious intention to create legal obligation. The Roman Dutch law concept of justa causa won't be applicable for commercial transactions because the commercial transaction, as I mentioned, comes under the English law. Every contract should be entered into with the intention to create a legal obligation. Then only the contract becomes a valid contract and the parties will be liable for whatever the terms that they have undertaken in their contract. So the legal obligations can be enforced by the other party to the contract in case the duties of the contract are breached. So we have rules for breach of contracts. So the contracts are valid unless it is illegal or unless if the parties prove that they have entered into contract due to force, or unless there is some mistake in the contract or there has been misrepresentation. So these are the vitiating factors that may invalidate a contract. Otherwise, generally, we consider any contract that is entered into by 2 or more people who have the capacity, who have provided consideration, and who have serious intention to create legal obligation, then the contract becomes valid. So in business transactions also, that is always done through the medium of contract. So this contract law, very flexible for parties to adapt. So when parties want to engage in businesses, they can draft whatever the contract terms in accordance with their business activity and carry on a business legally. Thank you. If there are any questions, I'm happy to answer.
Thank you very much, Professor Segarajasingam. I think we'll reserve all the questions for the end of that program, if that's okay.
Okay, yeah.
So, listening to your talk, I think lawyers beware, you're going to lose business because Sri Lanka is going the right track, very efficient and online. You said in 3 days you can register a business.
Yes,
wow.
Yes, that's possible, yes.
So the lawyers can retire or, shortly, I don't know.
Yeah, the act is made actually to encourage people to incorporate on their own. But
Wow.
still they go for lawyers.
Right. Anyway, so that was amazing presentation, and you gave us lots of definitions and how things to go for a layman like me. Thank you, Dr. Shanti Segarajasingam. She is a professor at the University of Colombo, Commercial Law faculty.